Well, howdy, all you collector car fans out there. This is Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Consulting, also known as the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports. So we are starting a new channel, a new step in what we're doing with Southern Bush Motorsports, which is Southern Bush Consulting, and we're going to help people from not getting burnt because it's just got completely out of control. It needs to stop. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to help people with comparing cars to other cars. This car right here was listed on eBay. 69 Shelby GT. Beautiful car. If you take a look and read that right there, it's got all kinds of good stuff to say about the car. But there's some key things that are left out of there on purpose about the drivetrain being numbers matching and verification and all that stuff. And stuff that a beginner or somebody not familiar with collector cars might not see. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a nice car, and it definitely looks like it's a real Shelby. I don't think that's the question here. The question here is paying too much for a car and not knowing what you're paying for. If you take a look at the linings of these cars, linings mean like the lines where the doors at line up to the fender and the hood lines up and just everything. This car basically is being described as an unrestored car that's been repainted once. And again, don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful car. But the biggest difference between this car and the next car that I'm going to show you is what you're getting for your money. And, if you're a perfectionist, I can see some places that I pointed out there that's rust. So, this probably is an unrestored car that has been just repainted once. And you'll see a few more pictures of where I describe and point out some things on the car, some areas with some arrows and stuff. So there's other cars out there that are better value or less of a value, but I'm just going with this. You can see that back board there rotted out a little bit. That doesn't look like the original cover for that car. The interior of the car, well, it's original. And, in my opinion, that's something that needs to be fixed. The point of showing pictures of this car right here is I want you to take a good look at it. Take a look at everything, the door jambs and that. Get a good overall picture of this car, because in the next part of this video, what we're going to be looking at is the comparison between a car that is a concours car, a car that's been nut and bolt restored, taken apart, put back together again, and this car. They are asking, I think on eBay it was starting bid was $184,000. Now bear in mind it is a real 69 GT Shelby convertible. That car is worth the money, or is it? That's what we're going to try to find out. Because what I'm noticing a lot, which is why I decided to start the consulting business, is way too many people are just getting set up for being burnt. And to be totally honest with you, they don't even know what's happening. It happened to a customer of mine. By the time I got to him, it was way too late. He was looking at buying a Z28, and oh my goodness, did he ever get burned. So, you look at these detailed pictures here. Car's never been touched. It's unrestored. And they don't hide that. They say that the car's had one repaint and it's unrestored. But I think when you see the pictures of the next car, you're going to see the difference between a concours restoration and a car that needs to be restored. So you get a car like this, honestly, I'd be happy with it. It's a real GT convertible, but it's had one repaint that was not done correctly in my opinion. And to be honest with you, for $184,000, in my opinion, this car needs to come apart. Although this is a nice car, there's no question about it. There you go, there's the Shelby emblem. That's not fake, that's a real Shelby emblem. You can tell by the way it's sitting. But if you're going to pay $184,000 for this car, let's say you get a good deal on it, which there was no good deal. It said that the buy it now price was $184,000. Let's just say you got it for $170,000. At the end of the day, in my opinion, this car needs to come apart because it's got the old wiring in it, it's got old this, old gaskets that, old foam this. The car just needs to come apart. And now you're looking at if you can find somebody that can restore this car properly, which for a Shelby it's got to be done right. And there's not a lot of people in this good world that can actually restore that car. You're gonna put another $100,000 on it, so now you're $270,000. This car's not going to sell for that for a long time. You're going to be sitting on the car. Not to mention you'll lose the car for 3 years. So these are things that I'm hoping will wake people up that are trying to get into the collector car business, because we want you to start. Young people, middle-aged people, older people that just decided they're going to start collecting. Here you can see it's a 164. Okay, so I thought it's a 184, 164, and it was on eBay just a little while ago, actually. 2024, I think it was beginning of September. But the car's real. There's no question about it. Now let's see if you saw what I saw the first time, because there's a lot of things there that caught me off guard. So I'm pointing out here the gap between that fender, front of the fender, and the door. I'm pointing out that gap on the lift on the hood. That's what it's supposed to look like. Not a big gap like that. Like that car body, I don't know if it's been stretched from racing or what. Now you got the back tail panel and tail lights. You can see those tail lights are pitted and they got chrome in. Like, just take a look at the overall picture of that. And that's what a concourse tail looks like. One that's had nut and bolt restoration, completely taken apart, brand new parts, NOS parts. Then you can see the gap between the hood. That's a pretty big gap on the right hand side. You can see the gap between the front and back of the door there. That's what that car is actually supposed to look like when it's done correctly and it's taken apart and restored properly. Now these pictures are important. You can go back and look at them later. That's a side profile view of that beautiful GT500 convertible concourse car. This car was at $135,000. It sold for $150,000. Concourse restoration. Sold at Meekum, I believe it was, $150,000. Beautiful car, right? The car that we're looking at, that we're going over, like I said, it's a beautiful Shelby. Here it is. There's some issues with this car. Like I said, in my opinion, the car needs to come apart, which is, if it's $164,000, and I just showed you a $150,000 car, so you can see these shock towers are all scraped up. You got bolts that are rusted on the car, rust spots underneath the hood everywhere. That's where these little arrows are pointing, and that's what a concourse car looks like when it's properly done. It's a pretty night and day difference, if you ask me. All right, let's carry on with the next one. And you see the difference, see the cleanliness difference underneath the hood. All those foam gaskets and stuff need to be replaced. That wiring harness across the radiator needs to be replaced. That's what it looks like when all that stuff's done correctly. All new rubbers are done. Hoses, it's not the correct battery in that, but that's okay. I mean, now we're looking at the interior. That 100% is original interior. Nothing's been done. Nothing's ever been taken apart on that, which is good. If the car had not been repainted, this would be a killer car, killer deal. But the car did get repainted, which means it's not a survivor. It's not 100% original anymore. That's what it looks like when it's supposed to be, the way it's supposed to be. This is a side shot of that car. You can see, I mean, there's no question, it's a beautiful car. I'm not trying to say any difference. But there's issues with this car. Because it doesn't look like that. That's what a car looks like when you do a concourse restoration. Everything's new or replaced or refurbished. And again, here's the front end of this car. You can see the hood sticking up like that. It's not supposed to do that. That's from opening the hood too many times too quickly. That's what it's supposed to look like when the hood's strong, the hood pins are strong, the latches are good, all lined up nice and flush. What I'm saying, it's these little things that really just get you. I'm showing this picture again. You can see how that hood is raised up. There's definitely some issues. There's some issues with that front bumper. I can see it's all scuffed up and original. There's a side shot of that car again. I show that one quite a bit because it does show the gaps in the bottom of the door, the gaps in the front fender, the line up underneath the front. And you can clearly see that gap difference. And this is the other side of the car. There's a pretty big difference in the gap right there on the doors. But you don't see that on this car. You don't see that big of a gap. So has the body been stretched on another car, or just fenders weren't lined up properly? I don't know. I think this is still the original Shelby that I was showing. No, that looks like a different one. Yeah, this is the one that's had the concourse restoration. Yeah, everything's lined up perfect on it. Such a beauty. So at the end of the day, what it boils down to is knowing what you're looking at, and that's why I'm out here. I'm going to try to help out people. Remember, I am a consulting business, so if you're looking at buying a car and you're not sure, just give us an email and a call, and we'll be able to help you out. I appreciate you coming by and checking out this Southern Bush Motorsports and Southern Bush Consulting video. Thanks for coming.